So we know that whenever we have to run one particular test case having one particular tag or multiple tags, we have already gone through with that. But if you just want to, let's say example, if you just want to run uh, all the test cases having a tag known as smoke, at that point of time, we can directly use hyphen grep and then tag name. But let's say if you just want to ignore one particular tag, at that point of time, we can use grep invert and then the tag name. So whenever we use grep invert, at that point of time, whatever the tag that we use over here will be ignored and all the other test cases will try to run, after running this particular command, which is grep invert. So it says that this means from all the test cases that we are trying to find with npx playwright test, run only those test case which is not having a tag as smoke. That is grep invert says that ignore this particular tag and try to run for all the other test cases that we have. Okay, so if you see, it says that running 38 test cases. Okay, so apart from this particular tags, all the test cases will try to run one by one, either in parallel or serial that we have like sequential. Okay, so whenever we have to ignore one particular tag, we can use hyphen invert on the grep. Okay, so this is a part of the tags that we tag to the test that we add to the test cases. Now, in general, if we talk about how do we run the test cases, at that point of time, we'll see that we are in general trying to write a command which is known as hyphen, which is basically how do we run the test cases is, let's say if we have to run complete test cases at that point of time, we are saying npx playwright and test. So it will try to filter out all the test cases that we have in the framework or in the project. Right. So at that point of time, we'll be using npx playwright test. That means or run all the test cases. If you just have to filter, let's say we just have to run only those test cases which is having smoke as a tag that we have given. So at that point of time, we basically use grep smoke. If we have to run regression, then we use regression. So every time what happens is we will try to run different types of commands for each and every requirement that we have in terms of running the test cases. If we have to run only on the, let's say browser, then we can also provide hyphen browser equals to Chromium or Firefox or wherever we want to run the test cases. Right. So this is like whenever we run the test cases in the local, this will be helpful. But let's say whenever we have to run the test cases in the CI/CD pipeline, how do we utilize this? This command will also work. But in general, what happens is we know that we have a Node.js which used to run the test cases written in JavaScript and TypeScript. So in general, we whenever we try to run the test cases or run any kind of program using Node.js, we basically use npm run and then give some kind of command so that a script will run. So in general, it will start with npm run. Okay, but we are currently npm means node packaging manager, and then we are saying that run. What run? Some kind of script. Okay, we are writing over here saying that npx playwright test example. This will run the complete test cases that we have in the framework. Now, Playwright has given one other option inside the package.json Okay, inside the package.json, they have given one other option where it is saying that instead of writing every time like npx playwright test and so on, you can just write inside the script, go inside this particular script, and we can just write all the commands that you want to execute the test cases for. Example, let's say, if we say like, let's say full test case, if we just have to run the full test case at that point of time, we have to give inside the script, we have to write some kind of command which will accept in a key and value pair because this is an object. So object will basically accept key and value pair. So inside this, it says that you can write a key and value pair. And whenever you want to run again any of the test cases that you want to run, at that point of time, you can directly use npm run and then the key that you are trying to write in the script. Okay, so let's see, and then we'll understand how it is working. So in general, it says that if you just want to run the complete test cases, the command that is used for running complete test cases, we can define it inside the script. Whatever the script, whatever we try to write, it will be applicable as a key and then the value. So whenever we have to run now, let's say if we just want to run the full test case, like complete test cases of the framework, in general, we write npx playwright test. But now if you want to run the complete test cases that is available inside the framework, we can use npm, which is node packaging manager, run, and then the key that we have entered inside script. So if you see, it will be running as, if you just give this particular command now, which is like npm run full test, it will start running all the test cases one by one. So in general, what happens is whenever we type npm run full test, just interrupt this. So whenever we try to run npm run and the key value that we have given inside the script, it will first go and contact whatever the command that we have entered inside the key. Okay. And after that, okay. And after that, first it will go and check what is the command that we are trying to run, or we are trying to check inside the key value that we have entered as a full test. And then based on that, it will start running the test cases. Okay, able to follow this? So it says that we can also write a command, or whatever the command that we are trying to execute, we can write inside the script so that it will be helpful in terms of the CI/CD pipeline. We can directly give like npx run, npm run, and the command that we have to, and the key value that we have to use in terms of running the test case. We can also write npx playwright test. That's not an issue. There will not be any issue because anyways, even if you try to write the custom script over here with some of the name, that will also consider the command that we are trying to write. But in general, what happens is, instead of writing every time, like let's say we have to run smoke suit. So for that, what we have to do write every time is npx playwright test hyphen grep hyphen grep and then @smoke. So instead of this, playwright says that you can write this particular script or command inside a script, make it as a key value, and whatever the key that you want to run, whatever the key that you place over here, you can directly use just that particular key by using npm run and then the key, which is smoke. So if you just try to run this, it will contact again the same thing that we are trying to do, and all those test cases will run with the key with the tag that we have given as @smoke. Okay, this is in general helpful in terms of running the test cases on any of the CI/CD pipeline. Okay, so this looks neat and clean as well. If you just try to write like npx playwright test hyphen this, we can still write. But if you see this is like just an npm run and smoke. That's it. npm run full test. npm run, let's say, regression. Example, regression. And again, we can write it with the same logic that we basically write every time is hyphen hyphen grep @ regression. Okay, so this is also one way where we can write the script, where we can write our custom script, and then we can run on different things. So this, like currently we have only written the three things, but let's say if you just want to run on the Chrome browser, that also we can write. If you just want to run on Firefox, we can write on, if the test cases is only supported on, let's say, Safari browser, then we can also write that, and so on. Every script we can write it over here. Every command we can write it over here, that we can use just the keys so that it will automatically run our test cases by contacting the command that we write inside the script. Okay, and whenever we want to utilize this key value for the script, we have an option where we can directly write npm run and then the key that we use inside the script. Okay. If you hover on this, it says that the script member is an object hash of the script command that are run at various times in the lifecycle of the project. The key is basically it is saying that whenever you want to, like, you inside script, you can basically put whatever the key value that you want to place. The key in the lifecycle event and the value is the command to run at that point. So it says that whatever the name that you want to give for the key, you can define, and the command that you basically want to run for the test cases, whatever the test case that you want to run, you can place it over here and it will be considered as an script in JavaScript, which will be utilized at the time of running the test cases. Okay. Any doubt over here or any question?
No problem.
Okay. So this is just to write the script. Now, let's see some other concept that we have left out in terms of understanding some of the things. So we have one thing known as script. We have already seen like page object model. We have something known as how do we take the screenshot and visual testing using Playwright. So let's see that in the today's session, where we'll talk about how do we take the screenshot and how do we do the visual testing in terms of utilizing with the Playwright. Okay. So we know that Playwright will automatically be able to take the screenshot and also the video whenever we define that inside the use keys, which is an object. Inside this, if you want to declare, like, let's say if you want to just declare that it has to take the screenshot automatically, then we can place it as screenshot : on. Whenever we make it at screenshot : on, video on, traces on, at that point of time, every time it will try to, whenever we run the test case, it will try to get the screenshot on each and every step of the execution. It will also start like taking the videos automatically. And the traces means the complete log that we had seen, step-by-step logs that it will start generating in terms of traces, right? But let's say if you just have to, if we have an option where we have to check, where we have to get this screenshot manually, or if we have to, take the screenshot at any point of time in terms of the test automation or test scripting, how do we do those kind of things? Okay, so that we will see in today's session, that how can we also take this screenshot using Playwright. Though it is able to automatically define, but we'll see how we can also customize it or take it or write it inside the script. Okay, so first will be the screenshot. How do we take the screenshot? And second is visual testing. That will discuss in today's session. Screenshot again comes with two types. One is full page screenshot. Second is only for a particular element. So element specific. So Playwright support both of the things where we can take the complete page screenshot as well as we can just take the screenshot for one particular element as well. So let's start with the full page screenshot. Like how do we take the complete page screenshot whenever we have to do any kind of things in terms of screenshot. So in terms of taking the screenshot. So let's try to write a test cases, which we have given a name as full page screenshot. And we know that how do we start writing the test cases? We will be taking the help of go-to method, which will launch our URL. So let's take the help of this particular application itself, where we can just launch the URL. And after launching the URL, we just want to take the screenshot of the page. So we have a method. Whenever we have to take the screenshot of the full page, we have to use a page variable. Okay, a page fixture that we have defined over here. So at that point of time, we have to use page. And then on this page, page says that page will have an idea of the complete page wherever we are trying to run the test cases, right? So if you want to take the full screen page, full page screenshot, at that point of time, we have one method known as screenshot. Playwright has given a method which is known as screenshot on the page. Whenever we use on the page, the screenshot, it will basically take the complete page screenshot. Like the full page screenshot, it says that returns the buffer with captured screenshot. Whatever it captures, it will return us back. So it says that whenever we, in general also, whenever we want to take the screenshot of any of the pages or for anything, if you want to take the screenshot, we basically have to store at some place. So this screenshot takes an argument where it says that where do you want to store the screenshot of the page? So that we have to again give inside a curly braces with the key as path. That means where do you want to store this particular screenshot? Let's say I'm just trying to store inside the framework at the root level. When we select root level, it will not be stored inside any folder. It will directly be stored in the root level somewhere over here. We can also give, I'll also provide by creating, let's say we can create one folder. We can create one folder over here, which is like new folder, and we can give the name as screenshot. And inside that also we can place it up. For now, I'm just trying to give a name known as, let's say, full page screenshot.png. So what I have done is I'm saying that take the screenshot of the page and store it as full page screenshot.png. I'm not trying to utilize any folder that wherever we want to store. I'm directly trying to store inside the root of the project. Okay. So to take the screenshot, we have a method known as screenshot, which will accept a path wherever we want to store the screenshot. And that's it. If you try to run this, we will see like one screenshot will be taken for this particular application with the name as this one. Okay. It is not something that we have to take the screenshot at this point of time itself after logging. Wherever we want to take the customized screenshot, or you want to take it manually in terms of the scripting, we can take the help of screenshot on the page if you want to take the complete full screen page, and then we can store it somewhere in the framework or project. Now, if you try to run this particular test cases, we can run it with npx playwright test, and then filter out only this particular classes, which is known as visual testing dot spec.js. So whenever we try to run this particular test, it will start. It will basically launch the URL, and after launching the URL, it will just take this screenshot, and that screenshot will be placed in the framework. If it is not available, then you can just click on refresh. It will refresh the complete Explorer, and then you will see a screenshot would have been generated for the complete page. So this is the screenshot that it has taken, whatever the name that we have given, which is like full page screenshot.png. Okay, this is again simple, very basic in terms of taking the screenshot. And let's say second is element specific screenshot. So for element specific screenshot, we basically have to first identify the element, and then we have to get the screenshot for that particular element. So for example, let's say if we just have to take the screenshot of this login button that it displays over here. So we just want to take the screenshot of the login button that it is displaying. So at that point of time, we have to identify the element first, where we have a class known as button. We can write it anything, any locator that it is acceptable and able to identify a particular element. So we see that we have ID available as login, and it is able to identify the element. So we can use hash and login. Now we can write, we know that how do we write the locators. So by taking the help of locator method, we can directly write a locator. And now as the name suggests, element specific screenshot. We again have the same method, which is to take the screenshot of the full page. But the difference here is, here we are trying to take the screenshot of the complete page. That is why we have used directly the method on the page dot screenshot. Now here what we are saying is, we are saying identify the element, and on that element, take the screenshot. Again, we have to give some kind of name. So let's say we can say that login.png. Login, let's say screenshot.png. The screenshot method will again take the same like, the parameter, which will, where do you want to store it? But in general, it will work in the same way. It says that takes a screenshot of the element matching the locator. Earlier, it was saying like it will just take the screenshot of the complete page. It will take the screenshot and return the captured screenshot. Here it is saying that it will take the screenshot of the element that matches the locator that we have given. So it is again simple. We can just write screenshot method on the element, and then take the screenshot and store it at some other place, some other places inside the framework. So I'll just name it as partial page screenshot. And now if you try to run this, both of the screenshot will again be taken. For this, like if the name is same, then it will overwrite the previous screenshot. Okay, so we see like both of the test case have been completed now, and we'll see one other screenshot have been taken, which is known as login screenshot.png. So if you see, for this one, it has taken the complete full page screenshot. And now for only the login, it has taken the screenshot of only the login element. Okay, so this is helpful wherever we get any kind of errors. If you just want to take the screenshot of that error, anyways, Playwright will be able to automatically take the screenshot of the error. But if you just want to take the screenshot of specific error, we can utilize by writing the locators, and on top of that, we can write the screenshot method to take the screenshot of the element or page.
I mean, one question. Suppose we are running 10 test cases parallelly, means one by one. So, is there any way to take the screenshot for failed cases?
Take the screenshot for failed. Anyways, there are two things. Inside the whenever I'll discuss this, like in the last session, I'll explain you all each and every sentence that it is available over here. But it says that we have given screenshot as on, right? So it says that whenever we write on, at that point of time, it will take the screenshot for each and every steps. Either it get failed or it get passed. But there is something known as on failure. There is something known as on failure. So if we see only on failure, right? So if you see this one, what it says is take the screenshot only for the failed test cases. This will not take for the like you also for the past test cases or past test script. It will only take the screenshot for the failed test cases only. So whenever we write like, let's say, screenshot only on failure, that means the screenshot will only be taken at the time of the failure of the test cases. If you select traces only for the failure, then only for the failure test cases, it will generate the complete log, not for the past. Again, video, if you want to try it with different option, it has again the different option. So it says that make it off, make it on, only take the screen video recording on the failure or on the first retry whenever it start running the test case, failed test case for the first time at that point of time itself. For the screenshot, again, we have the same option off, on, only on failure. And for the traces also, we have the same option, which is like make it off, it will not generate anything. Make it on, it will record the traces for each test. Only on first try, retry, that means record traces only when retrying a test for the first time. On all retries, record traces when only retrying, like whatever the number that we have given for the retrying on after the failure of the test case, it will only generate the traces for that, and retain on failure. That means only generate the different things are there. What we can see in general, like in a simple plain language, like retain on first failure, retain on failure, and so on. So we have different options over here in terms of the screenshot, videos, and traces that we can utilize over here. I hope this answers your question.
Yes.
Okay, great. So let's move to the visual testing. What is meant by visual testing is basically used to compare the current state of the page with the expected state of the page. What is meant by that is, let's say we have an application with, let's say, the same application that we have over here. So this application is a login page, and there is a huge changes are going to deploy in the application. So in general, what happens is functionality is entirely different. Visual testing is entirely different. So visual testing says that visually see if there are any changes in the application, though we are not changing on the login page, whether there have been any impact with the changes on the other module or not. We have to just verify that the page before the deployment and after the deployment, that means after making any change and before making any change, the page has to look similar, that it is appearing on the that it is appearing before deployment and after deployment. So how do we verify those things is by just looking into the page, which is we do not have to do any functional testing that whether the register is working or not, login is working or not. We in general have to check whether the page is appearing properly or not. and there should not have to be any impact. So at that point of time, what we generally do is before the deployment, we'll take a screenshot. And after the deployment, we'll again take the screenshot of the page and match both of the screenshot are matching or not. Right? So that is usually that basically in general usually happens with the visual testing. That means it says that visualize where before deployment, after deployment, anything are same or not. Or maybe today when we run the test cases, this page we'll take the screenshot, and then again once we run the tomorrow, we'll take the screenshot of the page and compare whether both are matching or not. In general, in terms of testing. Okay, so that is what known as visual testing. Check everything is working for a particular page or not. So visual testing is not recommended for any application where dynamically things are changing. Example, the news feed, news website, news in the sense like whenever we get any kind of example, we have Rediff, Rediff website where whenever there will be any new particular news, like the application will get changed. Example, if there will be any recent news on any of the things, then the application will get like the page will get changed. So if it is getting every time changed, that is not a good candidate for uh, going for the automation for visual testing. Okay. Second is if let's say if you have a calendar on the application on the page, then that will again not be a good candidate for visual testing as it will say like every day the calendar date will be changing, keep on changing, and every time whenever we try to do the visualization using any automation tool, it will keep on changing the dates, so it will fail every time. Also, if they have placed a clock or a watch time displayed over on the page, then again that will not be a good candidate. So if a page is static in nature, we will always be going for the visual testing if it is required in terms of testing. But again, this is not a part of functional testing, so we do not have to worry for. But just to understand how the visual testing is working using the Playwright tools, we'll try to learn it out. Okay, so for that we'll use this particular URL. So what happened in terms of visual testing is we'll write a test cases over here first, and then we'll see how it is working. I'll just complete the code, and then we can see in general how does it work. Okay, just a minute. Okay. So let's try to write the code, and then I'll try to explain. So this is something where we are trying to launch the code, and now in terms of writing the visual testing, what I generally explained is it will take the screenshot first and stored at some location. And then whenever it again runs, whenever the test case will again run, it will on the fly also take the screenshot and will try to compare both of the screenshot are matching or not. Like pixel by pixel, it will try to validate whether the both of the screenshot are matching or not. So how do we do that? For that, we basically have to write the assertion, which says that expect take the screenshot at the time of running the test cases for the page, which is like page.screenshot. And then compare this particular screenshot by checking with the already available screenshot. Let's say we'll just give the name as visual.png. That is it. So it says that we have to take a screenshot of the page. It says that we will first take the screenshot and will attach the framework at some point, some places. And whenever it runs again, at that point of time, we'll again, at the time of running the test case, it will again take the page screenshot of the page and will match with this particular screenshot that it has already taken earlier, whether both of the screenshot of the page are matching or not. If it is matching, then the test case will get passed. If it is not matching, then it will also display what is the difference that it observed over here. Okay, so this is basically what the visual testing is. For the first time, whenever we try to run this code, this will fail because it will complain us saying that I did not find any screenshot which is attached with the name as visual.png. Okay, it will place this. So first time it will not find it out. So it will just take a screenshot and place inside our framework. From the next time, whenever we try to run, it will find out like visual.png wherever it is available inside the framework. And then at the time of running the test case, again, it will take the screenshot and try to match with already existing screenshot of the page. If there will be any kind of differences, then it will try to, then it will also generate some of the differences that it observed on the page and will mark it as fail. If there is 100% correct that it has taken earlier and the before at the time of running the test case, then it will mark the test case as pass. So let's try to run the test case and then we'll see how it is work. So I've just marked it as only, so only this particular test case will run over here. It basically launched and it says that it basically complains us saying that a snapshot does not exist. Okay, so it is saying that visual.png is not existing in our framework at any places. So what it says is, I am creating the same. That means I am taking the screenshot and attaching at one places which is available inside test folder, and inside that it has also created one particular folder which is known as visual testing.spec.js, and it has taken a screenshot with name as visual-win. See, though we have given a visual.png, it has also added some kind of understandable name that I am trying to. So what will happen is whenever again we try to run the same particular test case, at that time it will find it out wherever. So it probably basically gives some kind of identifier so that it will be able to identify this particular screenshot whenever we try to run the next test case. So why it is adding some kind of additional name is, let's say if we have inside our framework, if we have duplicate name for the visual.png, at that point of time, it will not be able to identify which screenshot that we have to check. So that's where it gives some kind of identifier, which is additional to the name that we have provided, so that whenever we again try to run the test case, it will try to basically identify with the name, which it says that visual expected and visual actual. So if we go to the framework that we have generated over here, you will see like it has automatically created a folder, which is known as, which it has given a name, the title of the testing, which is visual testing.spec.js. Sorry, not the title of the testing test, but the title of the file or class that we have written, which is visual testing.spec.js. And inside that, it has generated one particular screenshot and stored as a visual-win32.png. Okay. Now, As I said earlier, for the first time it will fail because it will not be able to identify whether there is a screenshot of the page or not. And now if you try to run the same test cases, it will try to find out if there is any screenshot with visual with name as visual.png or not. So it says that I found one of a screenshot that it was available over here, and it is exactly matching with the screenshot that it has taken at the time of running the test cases. Okay, let's try to run for few more times. One time definitely it will fail. It's just because I know there is some dynamic elements available over here in the page, which is like, I'll show you, which is a blinking text. This is registered to sign in. So now see, it failed. It failed saying that screenshot comparison failed. Why? It is saying that there are some image pixels differences we observed in the screenshot that it has already taken and the screenshot that is has taken at the time of running the test cases. How can we observe that? See, there is one blinking text over here. So it says that register to sign in with your personal account. Whenever it is displaying a complete, it displays in a bold color. But at the time of disappearing from the page, it displays some kind of changes in the color, right? So that is what it is saying. I've basically found a difference in the page, and that difference it also has stored inside the same folder that it has created. Now, if you just click on refresh, now if you see the differences, it says that we have created inside this particular folder test. Inside this, we have generated a screenshot with the differences. So, okay. So if we here in the report also, let's observe first in the report. So here, if you see, it is saying that we found an issue. So the expected is this one, which is available inside a folder. Received at the time of running, again, it got this one and stored as visual actual. And whatever the difference that it observed, that it stored as visual hyphen difference dot png. So if you see the screenshot, the difference it is finding that it is saying, I observed there are some of the differences in the page. That is this one. Now it says that if you see the differences is this particular value, actual that it has taken at the time of at the first time is this one, and then sorry, expected is this one which it has taken at the first time uh, at the time of running the first time test case, and actual is it is saying I found this one. So that means the application did not load properly. We see some of the options over here, which is like econ. Then the images is also not properly available. We can see like there are some of the differences over here, some of the color differences, some of the text differences. And that's where it highlighted page, and that it will mark it in the red highlighted mode over here. Okay. If you just want to see inside the application also, we will be able to see that it will generate the details of the screenshot that it observed in terms of where it has generated. This one. Let's try to run it once again. 7 passed. It will basically generate over here. I'm not sure why it's not generated right now. You can try to check it as sometimes in Visual Studio Code, it appears to be some weird issues because I need to restart to check it out again. I'll have to restart this like Visual Studio Code to get the effect. But in general, if you see, like it will be able to uh, provide you the complete details that visual difference, like whatever the difference is there, it will also store inside our framework. Actual will also store and visual expected will also will be like expected value, actual value, and whatever the difference it observed, all the three value will be placed inside the framework. You can just try it out once in your code or wherever you are trying to write, and then see whether it is placing the complete details over here or not. Not sure why it is not doing when I was, if I check over here, I did the same thing. So here in terms of this, we can see like it used to generate the different options over here. It basically overridden like at the time of completion of the test case. But whenever it get failed, you will see like it will generate the complete details, the difference, the actual and the expected value. You can try it out once. It will generate the complete details over here. Let me run it again. If it is passed at that point of time, it will not again generate. But if it fails, then it will try to generate the difference, actual and expected value. So that is all about like, how do we validate how do we do the visual testing using Playwright. You can try to run, let it get failed, and then you can validate whether that is happening or not. So that's all about the visual testing that we have. We'll we'll go through in the next session. We'll go through with visual space, snapshot, visual has to different, has to generate. Anyways, like we'll check it out. You can try to check it out in your system as well, whether it is generating or not. It used to generate. It generated in the morning today as well. Okay. So in the next session, we still have a lot of things to discuss. We have discussed like taking the screenshot. We have discussed also how do we do the visual testing. In the next session, which is like tomorrow, we'll try to discuss how do we use GitHub. That means a basic of GitHub. How do we push the code, and then we'll try to set up a Jenkins for tomorrow. And for the next from the like Thursday and Friday, we'll try to discuss the BDD Cucumber and finish it off with the framework of BDD Cucumber. And at last, we'll also try to check what are the different options that we have available in the config file. With that, we'll be able to complete by this Friday, or at least by this Saturday, we should be able to finish it off the courses. Okay, any doubt for now for today's session?